Greetings, comrades. Welcome back to Workers and Resources. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I've got a new technical services office going in right over here near the lumber area here. And it looks like we're wrapped up. We're all good here. I just need some vehicles. I've noticed that in the wintertime, we're only plowing maybe half the roadways. We'll get about half of them cleared, and then it'll snow again, of course, and then we'll have to re-clear them. And my trucks are prioritizing asphalt roads, so they're making sure that those are clear before everything else. And I'm upgrading it to asphalt. We've got quite a few roads that have been upgraded. I'm doing it, of course, all with resources, but every once in a while I'll notice the way is blocked or something, so kind of a systematic way to do it, I guess. This area here, I'm not entirely sure it's going to stay like this, so I'm not necessarily going to invest any more into roads right here because this may not stay this way. It's possible that my agriculture stuff might get expanded into this area a little bit more as we go. So, I'd rather not put resources into it if I'm going to change it. What I have changed a little bit, though, is this area. This changed a little bit. Obviously, we got the prefab factory up and running, and it's only purring with a single worker at the moment. It was like 20 or so. But we've got a good amount of prefab panels made, so we're working on that. We need to get more workers in here, of course. There's a lot of people that need to get in here. So what I'm hoping to do, I think, is I'm actually tempted. I think I need to get rid of this road so I can place something else in the middle here if possible. We'll look at that in a little bit. But I'm also getting, of course, the storage and stuff hooked up. There's a small storage here now, in addition to this large storage. And then there's a factory path that runs right through here to the small storage. One of the reasons for that is because I wanted to be able to have an increased capacity for our prefab panels and stuff in case we needed to get it on trucks and things like that. But I just think it's nice having one of these being accessible by the trucks regularly and one of these being directly into trains. Speaking of which, this train line, right? One of these bypasses the station, of course, and then the other one comes through the station. And I've got the construction pending, just, they're working on it. Today, we're going to get started actually making the trains, or get started making these railways. But I had to do some weird things with this road. It's not straight anymore. I don't particularly like that, but there was just no way for me to make this go into this station here to pick up the prefab panels or anything else we want to store here. I could not get the train line. I guess it's just about an angle. Like the angle wasn't good enough. So I moved the road a little bit back like this. I paid for this with rubles really quick just because I didn't want to interrupt this. So this little stretch from here to here was just ruble covered. But I had to move my power switch. I had to rejigger some lines. It's been a kind of like a whatever. But in other words, though, we do have a train line now that goes right into this and also bypasses it. Now, the interesting thing is that if a train stops at this station, presumably, I was hoping anyway, they wouldn't need to stop at this station too. That was my hope anyway. But if they do, then okay, maybe there's different resources here. It's possible. We're going to set up a distribution office today that kind of moves things around a little bit more fluidly. But one of the things I really want to set up, probably we'll have a couple distribution offices, honestly. Probably I want to see maybe like one over here. Although, the thing is, I want all of the building construction to be, like, really close by so that these trucks don't have to go very far to move things around. So, if we do have one, it'll probably be, like, one here and then one over here. And I may put another one over here just for the crops and everything, but we'll see. And anyway, in any case, these train lines, they don't yet cross, but anyone who bypasses this station will now need to go into this one. Again, I'm going to make this happen. Most likely, I will try to... Actually, I might be able to just do this now. Have 3 tracks going through here. That's not necessarily a bad idea. Maybe we do like 3 tracks. We have one goes out like this too. And that way they can bypass everything. There's multiple different tracks. I actually kind of like that idea. Just giving people more options, right? And then, of course, this train line doesn't actually cross with this one yet, so we'll figure it out. I'm gonna cancel that plan, but We'll figure out where the semaphores and all the different cross sections and stuff are going to happen once we've got a little bit more in construction done for this. So what I want to do today, I keep talking, but what I want to do today is I want to start actually building this rail line. And that requires me to have a rail construction office. I think the rail construction office, originally I was going to put it right here because the idea was the trains could come out of the office and then they would pass by the supply they need and then off they go. But since the prefab panels are now going to be stored mostly over here, although I think we've got 86 tons of them over here. These were purchased before, by the way. I didn't create these ones. That was a manual purchase before. But since they're right here, the train line should probably just go through there. So what I might do is basically pay for this segment and this segment so that the trains can access the supply and then they can use that supply for other things. Unless, of course, we could just have trucks bring it in, which that might happen too. So for the rail construction office, I actually kind of think I want it to be over here. I keep thinking about what I want and I'm putting it over here. Also, there's a ton more trees here for the wood industry, right? You got a lot more trees over here. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but I noticed they were pretty bare and there wasn't a whole lot of forest. So I went ahead and planted trees. You just plant poplar trees, plant beech trees, etc. And you can just kind of do that if you want to. Paint it in, and then you get trees that are planted. Again, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it to replenish your supply, or if the intention is to just move away. But it doesn't seem like the woodcutters actually replant the supply that they cut down. It just doesn't feel like they do. And I feel like you would want to do that. You would want to keep planting as well as cutting them down. So I'm planting them every now and then. There's a lot of trees there for them to cut down now. Okay, so rail construction office, probably going to be in this area. Yeah, let's just put it over here. So to do this, right, we've got this rail line coming right through here, right? And what I'm hoping to do, there's no trains on this line right now. It's only construction. We're going to keep it that way for a very long time. Nobody's going to be using this just yet. But eventually, this train line is going to be our main supply line throughout all the different factories in our supply chain. Plus, this is also going to be passenger trains that take people from this area and to our residential areas and all the other work areas and stuff too. There's going to be several passenger lines running through here too. And as we need to, we will expand to new lines. So there might be 2, maybe even 3 lines running through all this part. If it's looking crowded and there's too many construction or there's too many trains going. Okay, so I think for the purposes of getting this, I think I'll put it on this side for now. And I need it to be a construction related. I need rail construction office. And I'm looking at it thinking, oh, it's got those factory connectors though. Wouldn't it be nice to have those working though? I don't think that's possible. You know, it'd be really cool if I could somehow hook up. Ooh, what if I could place this in such a way, hang on, I'm getting new ideas now. What if I could place this in such a way that it's going to be in the way of all my lines, though? I don't know if I necessarily mind having trucks bring it, but now that I see where it is, I kind of want it to be even closer to these so trucks don't have to go very far to supply it with the construction materials. I want it over here though. I really did. I really wanted it over here. I need adequate room too. I'm gonna place it over here, and we're gonna have trucks bring it for the time being. The construction materials. Oh no, I can't. I can't do it. It's just so much better to be over here, isn't it? It's too good to be over here. So I might have to move my power lines again. Yeah, I'm probably going to move my lines again. This is so far away for constructing stuff, isn't it? But if I can use that supply, I'm assuming it's gravel that goes through there. So if I could somehow use that gravel supply, but I need adequate room. All right, we're gonna try to commit to this. It's gonna be dirty. It's gonna be real rough, but I think we're gonna try to commit to this. I'll probably have to move my power lines, but I'm gonna say we place this. Oh, man, I just can't. I can't talk myself into this. This is completely against my own plans. How about here? This is an interesting place. It's I'm not gonna be able to use the factory connections, but it's not interesting. How about over here? Oh, I'm seeing the factory connections, and I'm really wanting to use them. I'm gonna think about this just for a second. I'll be right back. All right, I've actually changed it up again. It's like one of these things where you have an idea, and then it just sort of like as you start to actually place them down and look at it, the idea just sort of evolves and it gets improved, right? It's in your head, it gets improved with every iteration of the plan. So I'm actually gonna put it over here now. So again, like we had this whole like train yard idea over here. Well, the thing is, I've got prefab panels being made right here, and also gravel, a direct route for gravel right here. That's 2 out of the 3 resources I need, and they're all gonna go here anyway. So I'm gonna try to place it right here. So I've extended these 2 tracks to kind of come around this way, and we're gonna use factory connections between this storage and this storage on this side as well. It's kind of a loop here. I don't know if forklifts can go through a storage unit to get to another one like this. I don't know if that's a thing. So like we have a connection with this forklift garage, right? It can go to this one, or it can go all the way over to this one. I get that, but I don't know if it can actually go through them to get to this side. So I've opted instead to have a forklift garage here too. And this one will be able to access this one as well as this one. But then there's also this little part right here. And we'll go ahead and use this little part to connect to our rail construction yard. So I'm going to take to rail construction office, and notice how the conveyor belt from all the way over there really wants to connect here. Oh, I like that. The problem though is that the tracks are not aligned correctly. I don't have the tracks looking quite where I need them in order to make that work. So what I'm going to need to do, because I want the tracks looking about like here. I want them to be facing about like this. And this is actually pretty much the optimal place for this train yard, is like right in this area here. So tentatively, I'm going to place it here. And then we're going to need to put in the conveyor engine transfer so that I can get the conveyor belt from that side to feed this side. And we're going to place this in place where it really wants it so that I don't have to fuss with it anymore. So let's go about like this ought to do. Yep. And then I can probably work with the roads that way as well. So we'll place that down there. And then for the factory connections, I'm hoping it just goes direct, but it may not. It does. Good. Okay, factory connection direct there. That will feed us the prefab panels we need. Will go into the construction office. And the gravel we need will go into the construction office. What I'm hoping then is that the construction trains can then take the train track all the way over where they need to go and construct, and on the way they can pick up the steel that's located here. But the other thing is, since I'm already just purchasing steel anyway, to fit that little bit of time here, I could just purchase it here and then the trains have it. Until we get all the way over here and we start setting up the steel, I think I have to buy it, which is not great. One other solution would be to, and I might weigh the pros and cons of this, would be to partially establish the thing over here. That is to say, actually make the steel plant, which is, I think, a little bit close to the town, to be honest. But if I extend this town, I'm going to do it this direction. But I could set the steel up and then just put a couple of, like, you know, actually build out Kidder Rush here, which I'm going to rename. I swear I will rename it. I've started posting videos for this now. Yeah, that's how far ahead I am from you guys. I just started posting videos about this before recording this. So I can see comments up to episode 4 right now. And there's some cool names. They seem to have a common theme using my name in them. So with Stan at the end. So we'll probably do that, but that will be next video. I'll name them offline, and then I'll be like, look, I named this. I think I know which one of your suggestions I'm going to use for my main city, tourist city kind of thing, which is going to be right here. This is the main city, right? All the people live in this little area right here, little area. We're also going to do a little bit of landscaping for this. I don't mean to spoil it, but that's what's going to happen. We're going to take this little lake here, which I like. I like this lake. We're actually going to dig a canal/trench through here to hook this up to the waterway that's right here. So we'll dig this out so that this big lake matches this, and then we can have ships going through here. And I might widen this a little bit too to make that even more likely. But it's a nice little place. You have this big river that goes through this whole area, and it goes through this area all the way over and meets up here. And this is already kind of wide open right here. So if I can move this and dig it to where we meet up in this little area right here, it just extends, it makes this larger, it makes it all this big junction, and I can have ships, passenger ships, cargo ships, whatever, utilizing the river, which is of course a lot cheaper than setting up a rail network since the river already exists. You just need to build the boats, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So anyway, let's get back on topic. I wish I could move the camera faster. Really do. I want to get over there. I guess I can just click the map, right? But whatever. I'm going to delete these messages because most of these are unemployment too high. We're going to create jobs for you, don't worry. Anyway, so this stuff is actually all built with our own resources. Yeah, all of this stuff. I didn't pay for any of this. That's just really cool. I'm really loving that. I'm going to purchase new vehicles when it gets to winter, and then we'll have twice as many trucks plowing the roads, and that should help too. Okay, so we're making all of this stuff. I'm importing bricks and I'm importing steel. Everything else though is our own resources. And then you notice it says 607 work days. That doesn't mean it'll take 607 days to build it. What it means is with only one person, it'll take 607 days to build it. Add 2 people, cut that number in half. Add 3 people, etc. Like it's about how many work days are spent. And if you have 2 people working on it, then they're consuming or they're producing it at 2 work days per day. So it's going to be a lot faster than that. I didn't realize that, and until I started like actually building this stuff, I didn't realize that that's what happens. Also, I don't remember if I've said it yet, but those of you who might be newer players or maybe just didn't realize it as you're watching the series, I think I mentioned it over here, but as they build this and deliver resources, the stuff gets cheaper to build with rubles. So if you wanted to, or with dollars too, so if you wanted to build it quicker and for cheaper, you can just deliver as much as possible to these structures and then pay for them. And you'll pay a huge discount because most of what you're paying for here is the resources to be brought in and imported so that they can be built, as well as the labor. So you can't provide labor to speed it up, but you can provide all the resources, and that makes it significantly cheaper. So we'll touch base on that before this is built, and you'll see. Right now, if I wanted to build this, since it has partial stuff delivered, it would be 15,206. So we'll check back on that at the end of the video, and we'll see if that's cheaper. I think I'm going to go ahead and say I want to start my plans on that, and I want to start my plans on that, and I want to start my plans on that. So there's a lot of construction being done over here, man. But we have basically automated asterisk with the forklifts, but basically automated delivery to the construction office. Nice. Then the second thing I have to do is I have to provide a way for the train to get from the construction office to here. And that's a little bit right now. It only has to travel one direction. That's a good thing. So I don't need to do, like a multiple path thing through here for now. So if I was to set up this train, I probably could just get away with a wooden one for now, right? I think so. If I wanted to set this up, I could go like this. And maybe even like this too. Yep, hook that up. And then I can provide like a crisscross area here for them to move between these two. Oh, well, maybe not there. Maybe not on a bend. Probably not the best place to do it on a bend. I'll get rid of that one. But I can get away with a wooden one here. It's pretty cheap. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Yeah, I'd like to... Maybe I can put the bend here. Or the transfer here. Ooh, it won't let me to... How about it? Can I do it here? That's good enough for me. It doesn't match up, but like whatever, it's gonna work. So it's gonna let the train get between these different tracks, and it can build whatever it wants to build at that point, right? All the way out. Okay. So last thing to do then is to get this thing hooked up to a road. And I have this right here. And I think eventually I'm gonna make this whole road. This road I think is gonna stay. I don't know about this one and stuff, but this road is a pretty main road. So I think I'm going to keep this one. We're going to upgrade that. And I'm also going to go ahead and make this asphalt as well. We'll get them started on that stuff. And this road is supposed to be gravel. It's just going to the forklifts. Now, with this train track being established and us constructing things through here, we're going to need a place for trains to refuel. Because that's just something trying to think ahead here. We're going to need a place for trains to refuel. And I think it can be right here. Because we're going to have multiple lines and stuff going through here. There's not a really great fuel delivery in this area yet. But we can always bring it in through trucks. There's not going to be that many trains, at least in the beginning. So we can truck it in faster than we're going to consume it to trains, I think. That's kind of... We're not doing that here, right? Here is an automated delivery. And I do like that. Eventually, this line can refuel its trains in this area because we have that delivery already. And this pump, if we take a look underground, this pump is a splitter pump. So it will go out that way or out that way. So we can provide fuel to trains in this area if we just take this line and run it out. And that'll consume the same fuel supply that we're already pumping it in, right? But we just don't have that in place yet because we don't have the train lines and stuff in place yet. Let's hang on. This. All right. So this might take, like, this construction project is huge. If we want to do it with our own resources, it's going to take years to make this, right? You see, it's already April. Winter just ended, and honestly, it's probably going to be several winters before this is all set up. But when it's all set up, it's going to be awesome. So I want to get a few more workers in here just to help speed this up. And I want to get a couple residential buildings. We're going to put these prefabs in, and I think we'll probably put it right here. It's a little bit... It's kind of close to all this, right? I mean, they can get where they need to go. I just worry that they can't get to the grocery store. So I'm trying to maybe figure out where to place this so that they can. Well, initially I had this stuff in place to do it, but then I was gonna destroy the homes. But now I want more people here anyway, so I'm gonna build this here, and I think I'm gonna build another building right here, right like that. And I think we're gonna take and fund this with rubles to get people in here right away. And I know the place is it's complaining about unemployment being too high, but I'm pretty sure it's complaining about all of those people not having jobs. Not these guys not having jobs. Like that message for unemployment is not related to these guys. It's related to all the other towns that are not connected. I'm gonna fund this really quick, and we can get people in here. I'm just gonna take a bunch of immigrants. Maybe we'll get a couple of experts to help with schools. Couple of experts, but then mostly just immigrants through here. And now there's a lot of people in here that can go to jobs, all right? Go to work, you slackers. And we're gonna say, I wanna connect this with a walkway through here. Oh yeah, it does work. Beautiful. Right through here. Actually, we can go right through here. I like that better, actually. Right behind it. And you guys can just hook up to that. Yep. Let's just fund that with rubles. Just make it now. So anyone who's in this area, you guys can now walk over here and get to work on this side or get to that bus station pretty fast, I think. If I click this and look, yeah, it's within 300 meters for all of them, that bus station. So they should be able to get to work. What they may not be able to get to is directly over here. Yeah, they can't get there directly. However, there's more people living here than you might have thought. Because actually, there's another house here. Yeah. Whoops. Did you know? There's another house here, guys. Did you know? Were you aware of that? Because if you weren't, well, there you go. Now you know. There's actually more people here. Yep. Whole bunch more. We may need to get another school in place for this. With this many people. I may need to work on supplying them with the goods that they desire as well. We'll see. I'm going to fund that with rubles really quick just to get it done. At least I thought I was going to do that, but we'll let that be built, whatever. That's, well, and there's no point in this if they can't get there, so fine. We'll let this be built. But now we should see people being able to get there. Yeah, those 2 buildings. Actually, technically 3 buildings. The one next to the hospital can work too. So we should see more people working here. Now the prefabs panel factory, this is a little different. It's very far away. But at least that brand new house I just built, I think they can walk there. Mostly though, they're going to be walking here to work here from the bus stop. And that's the people we have right now. We're actually going to fill up on the prefab panels, which is good because, you know, totally going to have this done. It's now 15,519. I might just build this just so we have things working and moving out of here into storage and stuff. Technically, let's actually set up... Oh, we can do this for now. There's prefab panels here. Why don't we set up a truck really quick? I'm going to do open haul. And let's take... this guy does 8 tons. That's pretty good. But this one does 11 tons, and it's not that much more. I think I'm going to take this one. And what I want you to do is you're just going to come over here. I want you to take the prefab panels from here. And you're definitely going to wait till loaded on the prefab panels. And then you're going to come over here and unload them in this storage. And you can wait till you're unloaded too. All right, go. All right, awesome. All that stuff is happening. We have so much to do. So much to do. All right, maybe I'll let this run just a little bit so we can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Because again, this is kind of a slower paced game, right? If you're going to do it with your own resources, it's a slower paced game. You got to kind of wait for your construction offices and stuff to work. And there's a lot of construction to do. But I think this one rail construction office can take this. I think it can handle it. I think temporarily what we could do is just provide fuel directly to this office. Does it take that? Warehouse is 12 tons of electronic components. So it doesn't take fuel directly. So we'll still need a place for trains to refuel. Which I think eventually is... Like, this one's set up over here, but I think eventually I'm going to have another one set up here. And then I can have the construction trains, you know, as this line, because this whole line here is going to go like this and wrap through here and meet up with these train tracks. And then this whole thing will have 3 lines next to it, right? Because there's a third connector here. So we'll have these 2 train tracks come around like this. One of them will go off into a fuel depot while the other one continues on, and then there's 3 tracks, right? And that'll be kind of how we make that work or how we have that happen. Another thing I could do, actually, this would be fairly easy to do because this is open. There's nothing connecting to it. Right now, I just built that for, I guess, seemingly no reason. So I can probably get away with taking out this line right here and redirecting it. I don't even need to delete it, really. I can just extend this out. I could do this really easily right now. Just have this line come over here and meet up with this, And then that's how the trains can refuel themselves. The construction trains, they can bypass the station, come over here, refuel here, and then come back and go to work. Hey now. I think I just... See what I'm saying? As you look at things, the ideas evolve. I like it. I like the evolution of ideas. That's my favorite part. Evolving the ideas. All right, let me let this run for a little while. In the meantime, while they're constructing all this stuff, I have a construction office that's dedicated to constructing buildings and stuff, and then there's another one that's dedicated to roads. And it looks to me like the road one is sitting around doing nothing. Well, not really. It's actually missing a lot of vehicles because these little paths here, these little paths here and stuff, it's still constructing those. So this road is already pending, right? All that. So I'm gonna let this run maybe even a whole year, and we'll be right back. One other thing, before I go here and let that run, I think some of the stuff I'd like to use here, and part of this I'm hoping will fit right here now that I've left this space open. I'm hoping to put helipads on a lot of these different buildings. Some of these factories and stuff, you can extend them with helipads. And that provides resources directly to helicopters. So helicopters can come in, land, get the resources direct from the factory, lift off, and go where they need to go. And that's pretty good, as opposed to landing at a helipad that's having all the stuff delivered in by truck. But again, everything that we need for construction, boards, prefab panels, concrete, asphalt, all of it is in this very small area. I mean, every single component we need is on the screen right now when it comes to storage and the infrastructure in place to build it. It's all right here, right? So if the trucks need to move things around, it's pretty easy to do, right? Which brings me to my last thing I'm gonna do, and that is a distribution center somewhere. I don't remember where it is. I'm gonna drop a distribution office down, and it's probably in, is it in roads? Bus platforms, vehicle platforms. It's in here somewhere. I'm gonna drop a distribution center down, and that will kind of, in a way, a little automate all this moving stuff around and getting it where it needs to go. So if something's full but something has more capacity, it'll just kind of do it. So and anyway, in any case, let this run for a little bit, and I'll fill you in on where I put that, and we'll be right back. Oh no, our oil refinery is on fire. Whatever will we do? Fire department's already on the case. We're gonna put it out. Put it out, please. There you go. That's a really bad building to have on fire, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Not just because, well, it's like probably the most flammable building in my city, save for maybe the power plant. But the primary resource that I'm making money on pretty much just kind of depends on this. Anyway, let me give you a quick update. I've made this road through here, and I'm going to start working on a small distribution office on this side. But that is not going to be the only one. No, I realize there's a lot of logistics in this town that demands a bigger distribution office, which is why I've got another one set up right over here. And they're working on it. It's coming along. It's okay. We've got this rail construction office. It's getting worked on. I love the crane, by the way. It's awesome. I just like it, all right? To see it go back and forth like this. Yeah. This stuff here is mostly set up, and we have our big storage. It kind of finished. I didn't get a chance to like show you the cheaper construction, but at one point I did click on this and it was like 4,000 to complete it. I let them complete it. I didn't buy it, but still, it was really cheap to complete. Got a couple of forklifts working in here, and for the time being, just because I'm lazy, I got this place auto purchasing fuel. It's such a small amount of fuel every now and then. It's like to have a truck go by and deliver it here and stuff, it's just like whatever. These guys barely use any fuel at all. Look at how slow that goes down. So kind of whatever. But they're taking the prefab panels that this place is making and bringing it into here. And so we are up to quite a few tons of prefab panels, both in here, as about 130 tons is delivered now. And then there's also another 41 in here that they're making. I find so far anyway that 2 forklifts is still pulling them out of here faster than they can be made. So I would like to get more workers into this building to kind of offset that. But 2 forklifts seems to be a decent amount for now. Once we get this set up, we'll also have some being delivered over here, and we can mostly, I think, use this for trucks and stuff, which reminds me, I need to get a road connection to this so that they can actually build it. So let's just do asphalt because we can. That's what I wanted to do over here. And I was using this walkway, but I'm instead just opted to... Ooh, maybe I haven't opted to. What's going on there? Thank you. That's weird. Anyway, build that. So let's give a roadway here. So we can now deliver the prefab panels and stuff to here. And yeah, trucks could pull it out of here, but I'd just like to have more storage for this. So I don't think you can ever have too much storage, especially if you're going to be mass producing construction materials. And honestly, this is not accessible by the rail yard, so I can have some put here dedicated for trucks, just in case the rail yard is taking all of it. So it's just a little something there, I guess. It's fine. What else are we going to do? I've got more people in the schools. We have a lot of people in the schools. That's the indoor pool. School, yeah. We got a lot of people trying to get to school, so I've upped the number of people in these jobs, right, or these buildings. I hired experts, right? So I got them saying, hey, you guys should be working in the school, right? Bring a few more in. You guys should totally be working in the school, so go work in the school is basically what I've been telling them to do. If you're not familiar with the education system in this, we're going to look at that a little bit later. Primarily, I don't really care so much about them being experts and teachers and stuff, because most of these jobs, I just need the absolute basics of education while these guys are in. And honestly, most of my production up until this point doesn't even need an educated person. It just needs somebody who... It just needs a kindergarten so that their children can go to kindergarten while they work, right? So I haven't bothered to go with the universities and all that stuff just yet. Most of that stuff will take place over in our main city here. But I'm also going to set up little cities too. Like these little ones here, I'm going to use them, right? So we're going to have people living over here and people living over here. And there will still probably be some people living over here. But primarily this is like a big construction place and all the resources we need and distribution. And this is not all the agriculture. We're going to expand and have more agriculture spread out. I think anyway, when it comes to supply chain, when it comes to logistics, I find that having one big place that provides for all is not nearly as effective for resources that you're going to use a lot of than it is to have a bunch of small places that are more local. You can have a local place kind of providing for that one area, provide for that one area, et cetera, as opposed to a really big one where everyone makes all nice, neat little rows and has a lot of production. That's not really an option for every industry. Coal, for example, is really going to be kind of sourced from here. There's not a whole lot of it on the map. If we get over into this area, it looks like, into this area here, we can probably get some more set up. And I plan to transport that stuff through the rivers if I can. This stuff over here, I'd like to transport all that coal as much as I could with boats, because we've got a free... I don't want to pay for a rail through this when I can just get it coming through here. And then, like, yeah, we can also take this little piece, this little waterway that I was talking about earlier. I don't think that's it. Is that it? No. Where's the waterway I was talking about earlier? Isn't this it? No, it's over here. That one. This one. Yeah, that's the one. We can get them delivering that coal to right here once we make a path here. And then this boat will just kind of come up this way and deliver it to right to here. And then we have the coal from the other side delivered, from the central source. So some resources, yeah, they're coming from a central source. But as much as possible, I would like to have many different places and things coming from different locations to get where they need to go. Just because I feel like it's more efficient to have a bunch of stuff. And that especially is true with things that the resources that people will consume, like food. You don't want to have everything from one area and then have to distribute it everywhere. You want to have fields, you want to have farms spread throughout so that trucks don't have to travel as far, right? It's just more efficient that way than having to wait for things to come all the way over there. But that's what this train is for. This train line here is established so that resources we do have to move a great distance can do so quickly. And then they'll be doing that. And then the same thing with helicopters, which we're going to have. That's more like for construction, but also for people transportation. We're going to have people transporting by a helicopter and stuff too. And then eventually, I think right about here, on the edge of town. I might do it here, but there's still some gravel I'd like to take advantage of. And this also cuts into my wood supply. So it might actually take place right here, but I'd like to have an airport as well, that we can bring people in on an air, via air, right? I mean, we have an airport over there for all those guys. They can fly over here if they want to, or we bring people in, especially tourism. We're going to want an airport, especially for tourism. So anyway, there's, the ideas, just talking about them. It is what it is. Yep, we're making all the prefab panels we need now. It's all about getting this done. That's it. It's all about getting this done. And honestly, I could just fund this with 19 now. 19,000 rubles might be worth it. And then as long as the stuff gets delivered here, to start constructing this rail, everything will just work. This can be a wooden rail. It doesn't have to be fast. It's actually a really sharp turn anyway. So they're not going to have to move fast here. But when they get on this one, of course, this trail here, this track here, we want this to be as fast as possible. So yeah, now it's less now. You can see it. See the cost going down? I did show it after all. Nice. Yeah. So the cost goes down the more I let that go. And I'm going to let that go. So I guess it's going to be the next video, because there's a lot of, there's still a lot of content here. The next video, we will have, I think that's when we're going to start the train construction, because we've got everything kind of in place for that. The rails and everything is in place for that. And then I am going to get a track from here. I think I'll probably just continue this over, but it's going to deviate onto this line. Everything's going to match onto this line anyway to export to here. But, we're going to get it down here so that these trains can refuel at this station. I still think that's good. And then they'll refuel in this port while the other train is refueling here. So they can both refuel at the same time if they would like to. They're not going to get in each other's way. This track is pretty much exclusive to this whole line. It's not going to interfere with this line at all. And then I would really like to figure out a way. I haven't really given much thought to this yet, but I think we're producing enough food. We're always full in this storage, and we're full in this storage, and we're full in all of our grocery stores too. I'm supplying it to another grocery store over here. We don't have as much food here yet, but I'm supplying food to this one too. And we're producing enough of it to where I think we can start exporting. If I'd like to, I'd like to do that, because the price for food on the market right now is 185. To compare that to, this is per unit, of course, to compare that to what we're getting for the fuel, right? It's about the same, right? So it's worth exporting this. And I'm actually considering exporting it to a NATO country, because, sorry, this is the cell. Yeah, this is the cell column. I'm considering putting it out to NATO because it's 245 US dollars, right? Problem with that idea, though, is that I don't currently have a way to get it there by a train. So when this track gets set up, I might get food hooked up and have it transition to this track. So we will have, this one's exclusive, but we might have this track come over this way and then just sort of meet up with this train over here, so that we can have a train come from this warehouse, pick up the food, and then go and get all the other deliveries that it wants to on this train, on this track. So there's going to be lots of train traffic. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about setting up all the trains and getting the semaphores in place and watching them wait for each other. And, oh, we have another train coming. Yeah, but we're going to do that, of course, a lot later. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. When you come back for the next video, most likely this construction office is done. We'll have trains, stuff, start constructing the track, getting it going with that. And I'm also going to need to probably just pay for it. Get a train track set to this for the fuel, so that these guys who are constructing can get more fuel, of course. And I'll probably just pay for it, just because I don't think they can construct this line manually before they run out of fuel. So I don't think this will store fuel. If it does, great, I'll buy it here, or I'll transport it here, but I don't think they can. I also, just real quick before we leave, I bought a whole bunch of steel here. I did purchase. You might notice my money is a little bit lower than you might expect, just from the last break, and you let it run this whole time and you only have this. Yeah, I purchased a whole bunch of steel right here, because we're not making it yet and I need it. So yeah, I'm just gonna purchase a bunch there, and we'll use it throughout all of this. So it's still cheaper than paying for the whole track. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. I hope you liked the video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.